Old money may have a wisp of a regional dialect, a soft southern drawl, or a tight New England clip, but the rough edges have been polished. Old money generally speaks in what's known as standard American English, or if you're in the UK like I am, the Queen's English. Old money pronounces its words clearly in a soft to moderate volume. The voice does not have an unpleasant nasal tone or grating twang. It is not shrill. The vocal cords are not strained because the speech is supported by breath, which originates deep in the lungs and not the throat. The pace of speech is not so rapid it can't be understood. It is not so slow that the listener loses interest before a sentence is finished. Hello ladies, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Nicole and I've been on a little bit of a level up journey this past year, and one of the things that I'm noticing is that you really can't progress very far in your level up journey without money. Some people like to date for money. Some people like to work and grow their financial wealth. And some people are born into money. But for those of us who aren't born into money, I've been enjoying sharing all of the things that I have learned in this book, the Old Money book, How to Live Better While Spending Less. So if that sounds like something you are interested in, I'd be so honored if you press subscribe and joined this little community. And make sure to like the video as well so I know that this is a topic that you would like to hear more of. Old money is articulate. Old money has a large vocabulary. Old money makes an effort to learn new words daily. But that does not mean that old money will use its big words to intimidate or make someone feel inferior. Old money is blunt and concise because its thinking is sharp and detailed. When you begin to change your speech patterns with an eye to self-improvement, you will be more inclined to speak properly when you are around your business colleagues or others of a higher social standing. You may revert back to slang, lazy grammar, or colloquialisms when you are simply hanging out with friends. But beware, this will not serve you well. When you work to change, make the change slow, permanent, and comprehensive. So at the time of me filming this, last night I was invited over to one of my closest friends' home. And one of the things that I am learning is that when you are on a level up journey and you are starting to refine and carve out these values and these habits and these skills, when you get too comfortable, it's so easy to slide back into old habits. So what do I mean by this? My friend had us over to her home. She had candles lit everywhere. It was beautiful. There was like 3 courses. There was palate cleansers. And at the beginning of the night, I feel like I was on my A game. And then at the end of the night, there were definitely points of conversation that when I went home, I was like, oh, I've totally let myself down in speaking about this. And that's not to say that I think that this friend of mine would ever betray my trust or is judging me on the topics that I chose to talk about. However, it's not how I wanted to represent myself. And I think that the biggest thing on a level up journey that we have to grasp is we need to be hyper aware. And when we're aware to it, because I totally knew when I was speaking with this friend, because we have an intimate relationship, we're close, I could feel the conversation sliding to a bit more of a opinionated place, a bit more of just a place that maybe things that I think about in here and things that I think about in here, but it necessarily shouldn't be repeated. And so again, I know that this friend isn't judging me. I hope she's not judging me. I don't think she's judging me. I don't think her partner is judging me, but it's not how I wanted to represent myself. And I think that, again, if you're on a level up journey and you're looking to refine yourself, you're looking to instill these old money values and habits, etc., we have to be hyper aware, and then we have to learn how to reel it in. Because just because I let it slide does not mean that I needed to continue with it. And so I felt like if you're watching this video, you're on a little bit of a level up journey as well. And I don't think that it serves anybody for me to come here and talk like I have it all sorted out when I don't. Because I think from those of you that have messaged me over on Instagram or comment down below and you say, you're on this journey as well, I can't do you like that. I have to be honest about where I'm at in my journey. So let's get back to the video and the topic on hand. But that brings me to the next point, because they did say it in this book, is that when you make a change that is slow and comprehensive and permanent, you are going to make mistakes and you are going to maybe feel a little bit embarrassed. But by taking a slow approach, like not saying that you should slow down the process of change, but when you're not just trying to go with such a extreme change in your life, you're one, not going to feel like a fraud, and then two, no one else is going to look at you like a fraud. Like if I had said, you know, when we got on certain topics of conversation at this dinner party, if I had said, oh, excuse me, like I don't think that this is appropriate to talk about, or you know, I think it would have felt very inauthentic to the people that I was with because we have such a close relationship. But that doesn't mean that I can't learn to maybe not guide conversations in that area. So I think that when we learn to make these changes in a slow, in a comprehensive, in a strategic manner, it allows us to actually understand the value of the changes that we're making and not feel like a fraud. How do you go about improving your dictation and your grammar? This is something that I'm really convicted by, and it's something that I am putting in steps to help me with. I have Grammarly on my computer now, and so it's helping me write a little bit better. I have been learning to read a bit more of the classic books, and that's allowing me to expand on my vocabulary. And you know, another thing that is helping me expand on my vocabulary is listening to sermons, believe it or not, because there is something so poetic about when you hear somebody speaking with such, I guess it's the Holy Spirit at the end of the day, which typically I don't bring religion into my channel here. So I hope those of you that maybe don't have the same similar beliefs to me can still respect that. But I think even there's a few people that I listen to their podcasts, and one of the ladies that I listen to, their podcast is called Homemaker Chic. And it's two Christian ladies, and the words that they choose to use are so much more beautiful. Have you ever heard somebody say that something is aesthetically pleasing? Well, we can think about that in the audible sense as well. There are going to be words that are audibly appealing and, well, maybe audibly aesthetically pleasing, if that even makes sense. And I'm not saying to fill your words with a bunch of fluff, but there are words that we can choose that make what we're saying so much more beautiful. And I'm really enjoying listening to some of my favorite preachers, and I've noticed that one of the things that really draws me into them, of course, the subject in which that they're talking about, but it's also the way in which they're speaking, and I really admire that. So think about the cadence, think about the words. We can learn words and inject them into our vocabulary, but they're also going to be words that we can use as a part of our vocabulary that is going to be so beautiful to the receiver's ear. Anyway, my friend, that is it for this video. If you are enjoying this series, I hope you will join me in the next video. Bye.